Okay, we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting integers. The reason I showed you guys multiplying and dividing integers yesterday beforehand is because I want you guys to know the rules for multiplying and dividing, because it will help us simplify questions so that they're easier to work with. For instance, in this addition question, I have a plus and then a minus sign right beside each other with really no value in between. So this can be kind of confusing to look at. What is it they're asking us to do? Are they asking us to add, to subtract? It becomes difficult. If we know our multiplication rules, and I'm going to ask you guys what they are right now. What if I multiply a positive by a positive?
Positive.
Good. Negative by a negative?
Positive.
And then what if they're opposite signs?
Negative.
Good. You guys talk faster than I can write. So. Perfect. So in this case, we can use those rules to simplify these operations. We can change these two operations into just one operation by combining. If I were to combine a positive and a negative in our multiplication rules, what would I end up with? A negative. So we have a negative, and then from there I'm just going to bring down the value of 6 and the value of 7. So this question now reads 6 subtract 7. Okay. Now if you're unsure, some of you might be able to do this in your head. I'm going to quickly just show you guys what number lines look like to help us out. If this was a number line we're working with, normally what we do is we take the first term, and because it's subtraction, I know I'm moving to the left. I'll put the number as far right as possible so I have room to go backwards, or to the left, you would say. So think of this like an x-axis. I have the value of 6. Then to the left of 6 would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1. It's pretty much as far as we need to go. From 6, it says we subtract the value of 7. So in other words, we go in a negative direction 7 units. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our answer to 6 minus 7 is?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. Good. And if you could have done that in your head, that's fine. Second one. Same idea. We want to simplify what we have here. We have, again, a negative and a positive, just in a different order. If they're in a different order, when I combine a negative and a positive, what would we end up with?
Negative.
That's right. We have a negative. So we're going to bring down our terms again. We have 4, and we bring down the value of 8. 4 subtract 8. If we were to set this up on a number line, I'll just do number lines twice then for the other examples. We'll do it in our head. We start at the value of 4. So we write in the value of 4. And because, again, it's negative, we're going to the left. So we draw to the left of 4. That gives us 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. That's good enough. So we would start at the value of 4, and because it says negative 8, we go to the left 8 units. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 4 subtract 8 gives us negative 4. Good. There are two other examples we need to know how to do. We'll call this example 3. If we have, let's say, 5 plus positive 2. Okay. In this case, again, we have two operations right beside each other. How do we simplify two positives if we were to multiply? That's right. So we can replace the two positives with just one positive sign. And essentially the question is asking us what 5 plus 2 is. And what is 5 plus 2? Very simple. And the last example, we use the exact same terms. Let's say we have 5 subtract negative 2. We have two negatives beside each other.
Positive.
That's right. So these two questions, though written differently to start, are actually asking the exact same thing. What is 5 plus 2, which in this case is 7? Okay. Now let's say we're not sure what order to do things in. This will be the fifth example. Say I have 12 minus negative 4 plus negative 3. Okay? And you're confused how to go about answering this question. Well, in BEDMAS, we usually work left to right, and we're going to simplify one set of operations at a time. So when working left to right, the first two things we're going to work with is this 12 subtract our negative 4. Now we have a negative and a negative. Oh. All right. We have our negative and our negative. They're going to simplify into what? A positive, that's right. So we now have 12 plus 4. Okay. And before we even answer that part of the question, let's simplify the other part. What would positive and a negative simplify into?
Negative.
That's right, a negative. So now this question's a little easier to read. It says 12 plus 4 Subtract 3. We add 12 and 4, which gives us, subtract 3, 13 is our answer.